Kitchen. I'm Melissa Irvin, and I'm here with Laura Kopek today with Kopek Wellness, and she is going to show us a couple of quick meals. Because being a mom of 2 teens, I run a business, I have 2 busy teams that are always going in different directions, my husband works full time, and 5 o'clock sneaks up on us every single day. And we find ourselves going, oh no, what are we going to do for dinner? However, being a client of Laura's for a very long time, I know not to go through the drive-thru.
That's right.
Laura's going to rescue us today and give us a quick emergency meal.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome. I am super excited to show you some really quick, easy meals that are going to taste good, be fun, and fit that kind of slot you're talking about, those busy nights. I'm a working mom, I've got 3 young adults, they're always on the go, everything's on the go, right? Mm-hmm. And so having those things accessible to you. So every week in my grocery cart, I have the ingredients for what I would call 3 or 4 emergency meals. Mm-hmm. Those are the nights where you're like, oh, I thought about making this, but I don't feel like it. Now, what do I do? Or it's just, a work call came up and suddenly my prep time is taken away. So anything I consider quick and easy is about 10 minutes or less of prep and about 15 minutes or less of cook time. So under a half an hour from start to plate. And so that's what I consider quick, fast, and easy. And of course we want it to be healthy. And we want it to fit things like allergies, right? So today we're going to do a grain-free, dairy-free pizza.
Oh, yum. I love pizza.
I know. Who doesn't love pizza, right? And when you get diagnosed with an allergy or you're on a diet plan, suddenly pizza night seems to go out the window, right? Or the convenience of ordering pizza and having it delivered. Well, I'm going to show you something fast and easy, and it's going to be compliant, and it's going to bring back pizza night for your family.
Okay, I'm excited to see this pizza that we're going to make.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the ingredients right out of the freezer, so you can see I go right from freezer to prepping to oven. The first thing I want to do is turn my oven on 425. I want to get that nice and hot so that my cook time is less than it needs to be, okay? All right. I'm going to pull out some shredded goat cheese. I find this at Whole Foods Market. It is kind of in the cheddar family, but it melts super well, and you're not even going to notice a huge difference on it. So that's going to be my cheese.
So if I'm dairy-free, I can do goat cheese?
If you're dairy-free, you're most likely needing to avoid cow dairy, and so goat falls outside of that. It is a completely different animal. It's like saying if you're allergic to chicken, you can still have turkey. Right, completely different animal. I think it's a big confusing point that if I can't have cow dairy, I can't have sheep's milk or goat, but they're different. Now, some people cannot have both; they test positive for an allergy for both. But if you're really only having problems with cow dairy, then it opens up a whole new line of products for you.
I know my life just got better.
Yeah. I will say some of the goat cheeses and goat products can taste what we call goaty. It has kind of a grassy, they eat a lot of grass and that flavor gets into it. But some things like this I find are really spectacular and don't have that kind of goaty taste to them and are worth trying.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to use a plain cauliflower pizza crust. These are really popular right now. They are thin crust. They're super easy. And very light, so you don't have that like heavy, bloated feeling when you eat a pizza. And they have these pre-made, but again, I've got too many people in my house that can't do the dairy, so we're going to build it from scratch.
Okay. I didn't know you could buy those without, I've never
plain, yeah,
seen the plain.
And with the plain, you get 2 crusts in one.
Oh,
so it turns out to be even more affordable because the ones that are prepped, there's only 1 pizza in there.
And they're like $6 a pizza.
I know, right? Exactly.
And feed 1.5 people.
Exactly. And this is 2. In my house, everybody gets their own little personal pan pizza, so they can put some things on it if they want. But I'm going to show you a basic cheese. This is a super in a pinch, right? Because it can go right from freezer to cooking to table. All right. Okay.
Did you get that? Where did you find these?
So I did find them at Whole Foods, but I also buy them at Kroger.
Okay.
I don't know if Walmart has them, but definitely Kroger.
We'll look on the way home today and let you know.
Yeah. So I do want to keep this in the freezer as long as possible. So when we do pizza night, if people are coming home at different times, you know, we're not all getting together for a movie or something, I will leave it in the freezer because it does get really soft and it's hard to take out of hard to put in the oven and out of the oven if it's not, you know, the right thing. All right, so I've developed some techniques to make this even shorter, sweeter, and faster for myself. I am using a basic tomato sauce. Nothing fancy. I don't want a marinara. I don't want all the spices. I really want just a plain tomato sauce. And these are super affordable. It comes in like 59 cents to 79 cents. So I'll get 2 pizza crusts out of this. I think a big mistake people make when they're doing pizza is that they put too much sauce on. So I'm just going to put a little bit on here. And again, to make it super fast, I'm going to take this basting brush and I'm just going to smear the sauce on there. So I didn't use a lot. Okay. And then I'm going to sprinkle my cheese on there with clean hands.
Great. It even looks like a normal pizza.
It does look like a normal pizza. Wait till you see it come out of the oven. Okay, so there's a couple other things that are going to make this seem even more like real pizza. One of the things that we really like in a pizza is it for it to be a little greasy, right? Mm-hmm. Like a greasy, cheesy pizza. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't come when you're using kind of a goat cheese or a cauliflower crust. So I get this at the dollar store. One of my kids melted it, but it still functions. But it's just one of those like ketchup mustard containers, and I fill it with olive oil because I can do this. Just drizzle it around, and then I get an empty spice container and I mix it with basil and oregano so it's ready to go. And I just sprinkle it on there. That is now ready to go into hot oven.
You put them straight on the rack. Oh, you have a stone in there. Okay.
I do have a stone in there. See, it lifts pretty well because it's still frozen. You have a pizza stone in there. You can do it on a regular pan. You can do it on a baking sheet. I don't put it on the rack because it just if the cheese happens to bubble off, then it drips on your oven, and then
who's got time to clean the oven?
Yeah, one less thing
one less thing to do,
right? Yeah. This I do want to pair with a salad. If I don't have a salad on hand, I'll just slice up a cucumber or something to make it more of a complete meal. Okay. So this will take about 10 minutes. You do want to have that sweet spot for cooking pizza, so I usually set a timer. So we'll be right back with the finished product. Okay, here's the finished product. I've taken it out of the oven. I think maybe I cooked it a little bit too long, but everybody's got their own preference on how done they want their pizza. But you can see it really does look like pizza.
Alright.
Nice. Alright. Now I'm going to slice it with a pizza knife.
Okay, so Laura, how would I even know that I need to be avoiding dairy? What?
That's a really good question. Dairy is really, cow dairy, right, is really hard to digest. Cows digest their milk, like baby cows, twice. It's got more protein than human breast milk, so it's really much more complicated to break down. Where like the goat milk resembles more of a human breast milk. It's more of a carbohydrate and fat versus a protein. You're still going to get protein, but like the protein molecules don't exceed the way they do in a cow dairy. And cow dairy can contribute to ear infections in kids. If you've got a kid that's got chronic ear infection, you might want to take out cow dairy for a while and see what happens. Eczema, it's one of the leading allergens to skin conditions. So if you've got eczema and you start to kind of notice, oh, well, my eczema kind of flares during certain times of the year or associated with certain things that you're eating. So try pulling that out and experiment. Constipation, it is one of the leading causes of constipation in most people. Again, we don't really break it down. It's meant for a very large animal to grow that large animal even larger when they're a baby.
So did you say a baby calf digests the milk twice?
Yes.
With their 4 stomachs or whatever?
Yeah, something like that, right? Like they've got 2 stomachs, 4, something like that. And they have more cellulose to break down things like grass. Cows in general, right? The adult cows. So a completely different digestive system. And we're the only species to take another animal's breast milk and use it for ourselves. Genetically, we've adapted to break down dairy better than we did in ancient times. You'd never even hear of cow's milk being used in ancient times. So it is something we've genetically adapted to be a little bit more tolerant. But I find that we're genetically adapting the other way, where things like grains and dairy, where in ancient times we didn't digest, then all of a sudden we did. Now we're kind of cycling out of it and we're not digesting.
Interesting. Our bodies are so amazing how they self-correct at some point.
Amazing,
Yeah.
and the adaptation and how we don't even think about the things, our diet and lifestyle is influencing our genetics on a day-to-day basis and a long-term, and that's part of what I do as well.
So yeah, in case you didn't know, check out LauraKopek.com. Laura is a nutritionist and a functional medicine practitioner. So if you are curious as to what has your digestive system out of whack, you can schedule an appointment for a consultation. She even has a no appointment consultation. So if you just want to get a little bit of maybe some lab work or get some questions answered, check out that no appointment consultation and see how Laura can help you.
Get some supplements recommended, fill in the gaps on your diet with a good multivitamin or whatever you might need. Yeah, you don't have to go through this alone for sure. All right, so I've served you a piece. Do you feel brave enough to take a taste?
Yeah, I'm excited. That's good. Yeah.
Pizza?
And that olive oil does give a little bit of that grease where I feel like I'm cheating.
Like I'm having real pizza. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us today. We look forward to you joining us again.